Hi, in this series of videos, we're going to do a financial statement analysis of a listed Indian company called Hindalco. Now, Hindalco is a major company in the commodity space. It's a primary player in aluminum and copper space and is one of the largest firms in India in terms of its sales revenue. And we're going to look at the data. We're also going to understand a few more things as we look at in this set of series of videos. So what do we have with us? We have a template of an Excel file where we have data available for the last 7 years, either from the annual reports or from the financial statements. So from the annual reports, we have data coming in from all the way up to 2012 to 2016. 2017 annual report is not yet published. So what we have right now is data put in from 2017 financials, but we will not have too much detail other than that in terms of breakup of those numbers from where they are coming from. Formula for ratios are given. We have an Excel file that we're going to use, and I'm going to show that to you in a minute. And the formula is already available. The focus is not on remembering the formula, but more on interpreting the trends that are going to be available during the course of this discussion. So our idea is not necessarily to remember what the formula for return on equity is. Our idea is once we know the formula and we calculate the number, can we interpret the reason for the trend? Is it an uptrend? Is it a downtrend? And why is that? Right? We will try and read through the notes to accounts given in the financial statements of the company, the annual report, to decode more information about the company. So not just these numbers. When we look at these numbers and we try and gauge why the numbers are moving, then we will need some support or some understanding from the annual report of the company till the years it is available, and we'll try and gauge some data points from that and probably adjust some of the numbers based on the definitions that we may be aware of using our textbooks. Right now, we'll also have to bear with some adjustments for 2017 and 16 numbers specifically. That's because the accounting uh, formats and the accounting standards have changed in India, and now we are using what is called as Ind AS. And there's a transition from this previous one, which was Indian generally accepted accounting principles, to this, and consequently some of the items have been rearranged. So we might see some headers which are kind of available in 2016 and 17 which were not available earlier. We have also done a few adjustments here or there from the numbers that are available in that data. Absence of the annual report creates a little bit of a challenge because at this point we only have a financial statement of the company and from where we have taken that data. We'll also look at any observations that that may have a bearing on the company's valuation. Basically, for every number that we look at, for every ratio that we calculate, we try and answer the question why, which is why do I see this trend? Why is the margin going up or going down? Why is the debt equity number moving up or moving down? That's what we're going to primarily look at. Now, before we go ahead, we need to look at our Excel file, and we also need to look at where are we going to get this data, or where have we taken this data from. So that's the Excel file that we have, and this basically is the last 7 years of data. The last 2 years of data has been fed in from the financial results of 2017. This is consolidated data, and we are looking at only consolidated data specifically, right? One of the things that might strike us is the size and scale of the company. The company makes more than 1 lakh crore of revenue, and till a fair bit in the recent past, it wasn't making too much money, barely breaking into profits, has been doing okay this year, but the profit margin that you see is approximately 2%. So it's a hardcore metals kind of a business, and that creates a little bit of a challenge in terms of the profitability, erratic profitability as we look at it. We'll look at more numbers in details as we go along. The balance sheet size and details of balance sheet are available here. Once again, the numbers are picked up from the annual reports till 2015. And then the last two data points are coming in terms of the numbers that we have from the financial statements of the companies website, the results that have come out. So you will see some rearrangements in items that are there. On the right hand side of these sheets is what is called as vertical analysis. So we have done that. where we have basically in the P&L rebased the sales to 100 and then taken out the proportions of everything else below that. And in the balance sheet, we have kind of based the assets and liabilities to 100 and checked out the proportion of the numbers from that. So something that we will look at in more detail as we go along. There is a cash flow sheet which is available because we do not have the annual report for 2017. So far, we do not have data of the cash flow of 2017. So we'll rely with whatever is available. We're just looking at three major line items here and nothing more than that at this point of time. Finally, we look at the ratio sheet, and you will note that on the ratio sheet, all the formulae are available with us. We are basically going to look at these formulae and calculate the numbers. And then our focus will be on interpreting and understanding some of these major line items and figuring out why have we calculated them in the first place, what do they tell us, and what are the challenges when we look at these numbers as we go along, right? So that's broadly it in this Excel file. This will be made available to you. You can download this off the link that would be provided to you. Next, we move quickly to try and find out where do we get all this data from. So if you go to the website hindalco.com and you go to the investors tab here, you will get this header called reports and presentations here. So reports and presentations, the fourth header, you can click on that, and here you find the annual reports of 2015-16. That's the latest one which is available. 16-17 is not yet available. You have quarterly results available, right? So you have opened the quarterly results, and in the quarterly results P&L, you will see there is a standalone data and there's a consolidated data. We're worried about the consolidated data, right? You can also note that standalone year-ended results were close to about 39,000 crore, whereas consolidated sales is about 1 lakh crore. So whatever their subsidiaries are huge in size and are nearly, bigger than the standalone entity in India as such, right? Then we can look at there's an annual report for 2015-16. Again, if we click on the annual reports here, we will get the annual report for 2015-16. That's possibly something we're going to look at. If you would like to dig deeper, you can also look at a few earlier annual reports about the company and understand where the data is coming from. Now, in a series of videos, what we're going to do is we are first going to interpret what these numbers are worth. We're going to quickly take a look at these numbers and understand their size, scale, etc. We're then going to calculate the ratios based on these formulae which are given here. And then we are going to spend some time firstly identifying if certain ratios need adjustments. We've already made certain adjustments in certain ratios. Some of these ratios may not be available in textbooks. We might have created them generally to understand our perspective about the company. And why are those numbers moving? We will at least pose those questions so that tomorrow, if we are researching more on this kind of a company or any company for that matter, we know what are the right questions to ask, right? So that's the primary objective of this entire series. We may not be getting answers to all the questions that we raise, but the first stage of analysis of any company's financial statements is to actually pose the correct questions. That's what we're going to do in this series of videos, which is going to follow. Right? That's it in this particular video. In the next video, we'll start calculating these numbers. Thank you.